How do you create balanced encounters? How do you adjust challenge rating or other leveling tools to the characters your players bring to the table? How do you create engaging, thrilling combat that's not too soft, not too strong, that's just right and perfectly challenging? What if I told you that you didn't have to? The player characters and your enemies do not have to be on the same level. You are trying to bend a spoon with your mind, your creativity, and maybe a little math, but I'm here to tell you that there is no spoon. There is no balance. The quicker you realize it's not there, the quicker you will create new encounters that are more exciting than constantly seeking an impossible holy grail. Why is there no balance? How can I say such a thing? Because your players already know this rule. They know, and I bet you know it too when you're in the player's seat, that the perfectly tuned leveling and damage equations of a video game are simply not present in a tabletop role playing game. In a video game, you have finite options. In Dragon Age Origins, you can rush into a fight with several chosen combat skills based on your class. You can try to go in stealthy and set up traps and use the tactical view to set up an ambush, or you can use six branching dialogue options to turn combat into a roleplay puzzle. In a typical TTRPG, there are several options given to you, but also whatever you can imagine. As long as your game master approves it, your character can do it. So, if you're in the game master seat, why not approve of this rule for yourself? Now, of course, I'm not saying to go overboard with this and just buck the stats and play full Calvin ball, but I think too many game masters, especially dungeon masters for 5e D&D, go overboard on the other side of the spectrum. Don't be beholden to a standard monster or enemy's noted challenge rating or power level. Your party is unique and will quickly warp this number for better or for worse. So, you might as well just pick an enemy that's close. There is no spoon. But Jackson, you say, the monster's damage output, weapons, defenses, action economy, and motivation all matter, right? Right. And you are welcome to pool your party's average accuracy and damage per round to find the mathematically perfect monster that will last the exact number of rounds that you think the table will enjoy. And then your players can thrash that number by using that special summon you forgot about or use honey to try to staunch the flames of the monster's immolation attack. Your perfectly forged spoon will be warped beyond your comprehension. So just accept that there is no spoon. Yes, the numbers, as well as the intangible factors like morale, personality traits, and flaws, and how like your monster is to be seduced by the bard, do still matter, but they aren't the be all end all of your encounter design. You should know if a certain fight will be a deadly challenge or an easy stroll through the tall grass. This is mostly felt out through experience, but if you're just getting into the game mastering, you don't have to go by a vibes only approach. Compare your monster's strongest attack to your squishiest character's hit points. Will one attack instantly kill them? Then that's probably a little too tough and you could scale it back. What about 10 attacks? Well, that's hardly worth all of our time, is it? 3 to 5? Yeah, sounds like a good monster. Let's take a peek at the Truesight model here. For the game, pick a monster you or your players think is cool and make that monster work. You can pick a monster from a player's backstory or wish list and determine the right time for the narrative to introduce the fight, then double check the stats in the metagame. You can use the environment and world building elements to add flavor, difficulty, and complexity to even a lower level monster to make it interesting. On the metagame side of things, how many rounds do you want this to last? I tend to go with a 3 round rule, but that rule is also broken all the time, just like most rules in TTRPGs. That's what they're made for. How much mental load are you prepared to give yourself? Running a complicated monster and a complicated environment will stress you out and introduce mistakes, so don't go overboard when a simpler monster will do the job. And you can still do the math. Math is not evil. If what you take away from this is my equation for figuring out, how much damage that monster will cause in a round, and you say, yes, balance still does matter, then that's fine with me. You can use keywords like deadly and easy to give yourself a better goal than Balanced. Give or take away legendary actions or resistances. This is something that can help even out the action economy or help make a legendary cool monster that you really want to show off to a lower level party actually possible for them to fight or run away from. And on the real life side of things, rarely, if ever, will a player say, "Wow, that fight was my favorite. It was so fair." So, come up with other words that you would want to use for your favorite fight. Sometimes you get a cool mini as a gift or something. Throw that cool mini or cool piece of art into your next encounter and make the rules work around it. Consider or ask what degree of combat challenge your players actually want. Some players want a gritty challenge, but some players want a break after work and some slice of life fantasy time with their friends. Take suggestions and requests from players. I guarantee they have some good ideas on what will make the game better for them. One more thing. Remember that there is a balance that very much does matter, and that is the balance between player characters. But I think that's for another video. I hope this helps you with your next combat encounter. I hope you will remove from your shoulders the burden of creating a perfect monster player balance and instead realize that the end goal is a good time and a good story that involves everybody at the table. There is no balance, there is no spoon. Be free. Thank you for watching and have a Nat 20 day. Bye bye.